Welcome to Claim Your Power. After all these years, I'm still like excited when we go on and like surprise that we're on live somehow. But it's not David and Debbie tonight. It's David and Stacy. Welcome to Claim Your Power. I do see some of you are already watching live, which is fantastic. So good to see you, whoever you are. Make sure you say hello, and make sure you say hello through YouTube,
Yes.
so that we can see who you are over here. Um, I think we're going to bring the stream in.
Let's.
Why not? Why
Yes.
not? That's what everybody here is here for anyway.
Let's,
David, shut up. We want to hear from the stream.
no, no, we love you too. It's just, it would be nice to hear from the stream, I think.
I think so too. So we're going to bring them in a moment as soon as I clear my throat. So if you have questions for the stream, go ahead and start typing those questions in now. There's nothing that's off limits. We don't have a specific topic for tonight. I kind of want a free flow. We're going to freestyle with the stream. I think people probably think we smoke weed or something. You may have. I don't know. I have not.
No, I don't
Before we
smoke.
come on here. Maybe we should. That'd be interesting.
No, I'm asthmatic. No, it's a no.
Oh yeah, we don't want you having an asthma attack. You don't smoke anything. You don't vape. You don't do any of that stuff.
No, no,
You do
not
edibles?
occasionally when I can't sleep because my
Or
husband
like a
uses.
CBD? You do like a CBD thing?
Yeah, but that's it. I don't like being out of control.
Yeah.
I like feeling myself. I like feeling my emotions. I like experiencing my physical body. And I've been getting such a high working out and really, really getting sensual about eating, like making myself sit down and make myself something really pretty to eat, taking a moment to like soak it in, and then slowly consuming it. Because my portions are a lot smaller now. I'm on a weight loss journey.
Yeah.
And if I eat too fast, then I'm hungry still.
You gotta watch it. But there is something to be said for like blessing and appreciating your food.
Oh, definitely, definitely. But just slowing it down, it's like, oh, you mean I don't have to cram this sandwich into my face while I'm driving to my next appointment, and I can allow myself to digest. I can actually taste what's in this sandwich, dish, salad. I've been having so much fun creating things already for Thanksgiving. I love to
I
cook.
thought you were gonna say Big Mac, but
Ew, no, Big Macs.
McDonald's battered meat and secret sauce.
Yeah, I like the secret sauce, and I can make that at home because
Yes,
it's
I make that all the time for burgers at
yeah,
home. The battered meat thing is a no bueno for me for sure.
yeah, no. We do a thing called cheeseburger salad. So you make yourself a nice burger patty, whatever you like to put into it, whether it's sometimes it's bacon and chilies, Ortega chilies, chopped up real small, then nice slice of cheese. Make yourself a beautiful salad,
Very
put that
keto.
sucker on top, and then whatever secret sauce you like. Oh yeah. Good thing I already ate, otherwise I get really hungry now.
Yeah, I haven't really eaten much of anything today, so you're
Oh
making me.
no. I won't torture you anymore then.
Yes, let's not. We don't want to torture me before I have to bring the stream in.
Yes.
All right. So I know that there are people that are on live. We have our newest. We're calling it boot camp again. I think. I don't know. It seems like we tried to do this experience thing. I always just say boot camp. I've been saying boot camp for years. So
Okay.
Our newest boot camper, Lindora, joined Patreon. So if you're watching Lindora, welcome to Patreon. Welcome to Taya Boot Camp. Welcome to our inner world.
The inner
Stacy and I get it when we do these nighttime, these Thursday nights. We get really, really silly. And Cheryl, hello, good to see you on. Always good to see you. So, if you have stream questions, if you want to know lottery numbers or who's going to win the next presidential election, or no, I'm kidding.
How drunk
Ed get? That, but I don't know how they'll answer.
I'm going to try just to see.
We'll see what they have to say to all of that, right?
Cheryl, if you have any questions, do make sure to type them in for us. Otherwise,
we're prepping here to bring the stream in any moment. And there are more of you than just Cheryl watching live. So say hello and let us know who you are. And Lindora, if you're out there, welcome again and let us know you're watching.
Yeah. welcome, welcome.
Even if you're watching the recording in the future. Turn my phone off here.
Yes, please.
All right. So, do you have questions for the stream to get things rolling, Stacy?
Hi. Is that
Natalie. I say Natalie, and I don't know if I'm mispronouncing your
are we
name or not.
pronouncing that right?
Say yes or no. I think I've asked that question before. My memory
Excuse
is not so great. Ms. Light. We'll just call her Ms. Light.
Oh, I like that much better.
Ms. Light.
Yes. I wonder if she does. She might be like, "Oh, no, just call me."
The stream would know how to pronounce it.
Bring him in, let's try.
All right. So, any questions for the stream? Start thinking of those now. Type those in. You can go as deep with the stream as you want. You can ask anything you want. There's nothing that's off limits. You can't offend them. You really can't offend me. We could play that. Let's play the try to offend David game, but I don't think it's really possible. Maybe if I'm down my spiral, maybe, but I'm not down my spiral at all. So I would not show up to a live down my spiral. I know better.
Yes, you do.
I'm a pro. I would definitely make sure I'm up my spiral before I jump onto a live video. And I think we're just on Patreon tonight. Sometimes we broadcast this in other places, but sometimes it's more fun that we're just in Patreon. Just kind of the inner circle is here watching this. And sometimes we make these things live like 30 days after we've recorded them on YouTube, just so other people can partake in the stream's message too. But all of you on Patreon get it, get the goods up front, and you get to attend live and all that kind of good stuff. And swim in the stream. All right, well, let's do it. Let's take the moment to meditate together, set an intention for fantastic interaction, whatever that looks like, and just let the stream flow through all of us.
Indeed, indeed.
We are here.
Thank you for joining us. Wonderful, wonderful. So as my Taya practice has progressed, I'm noticing, and I've noticed when I've talked to other Taya alum, how much fun we're having when we're down the spiral, when we get that aha moment of clarity that, holy moly, I created this S show. I'm super powerful. And realizing that with just that appreciation, how it flips and immediately changes into something more up the spiral. I know this is something that you've taught us, the stream has taught us over and over again. I love to be reminded because I remember when I had my boot camp experience that was my most challenging bit. So maybe you can speak to us a bit about that.
It's because you have all been trained to believe that your unwanted manifestations are bad, that is an experience that you shouldn't be having, and that your downward vibrational flow is a space that you should not be experiencing. So when you layer all of that judgment on the experience as a species, the collective consciousness of humanity has moved toward and created this collective mindset that lower vibrational flow needs to be avoided, that it's bad, that things that are inevitable in your experience are bad, such as death, and that unwanted manifestations are things that are to be avoided at all costs. And the thing that you may find most interesting is that very often the thing that you are fearing the most is simple disappointment. Think of the times in your lives that you have created limiting beliefs and stopped yourselves from taking risks and creating new things in your life experience simply because you fear being disappointed. But that disappointment is rooted in judgment. That is a human construct to begin with, because your ego consciousness is not necessarily launching this mindset of disappointment or judgment or comparison or any of those things on autopilot. These are things that you pick up in your paths. It is part of the contrasting experience of being physical and specifically human in your case, but it is something that humanity is outgrowing. And as you outgrow it, you find yourselves wanting to move beyond all of that fear, all of that judgment. You are seeing clearer, perhaps than ever, as a species, how your fear and judgment is a learned behavior that you can completely detune and not operate in fear and judgment. So when you take the judgment piece out of your lower vibrational flow and it becomes just an experience that you're having, and then you take that perspective and apply it across every aspect of your human experience. It's just an experience that you're having. The unwanted experiences that you create for yourselves, and yes, you do create them all, even if you're not exactly sure how you create them, those exist for no other purpose than to inspire you toward new desired creation. You would not expand in new desires if you didn't first experience the lack of the desire, or the lack of the thing that you wish to experience that you have not yet had in your path, or that you wish to experience again. The lack or the challenge that you create for yourself is always about inspiring your ego toward new creation. And then when you go up your spiral into positive creation territory above what we call neutral, up in the source connected territory, that where your ego and your source consciousness are beginning to harmonize, then all of those solutions begin to form, and you begin to appreciate your obstacles. You begin to appreciate the negative things that you have experienced, because you are beginning to get clear on how they have expanded you and how they've inspired you toward new creation, which is your entire purpose in coming to physical.
I love that the stream's teachings, we talk about this over and over and over again, how embracing your down the spiral time is such a valuable place to be. Hi, Donna.
Because you're trained not to, and you realize now, when you start understanding the universal process of creation, and you realize how you have been trained by your society to stay in that judgment space of your lower vibrational flow, how limiting it truly is for you. So when you
Mhm.
start thinking differently and allowing yourselves to think way beyond the collective consciousness of humanity, when you think way beyond that and move into that space where we guide you to appreciation of all things, and then you see how that starts to transform your life journey, you realize that there is a massive secret that humanity is beginning to uncover.
Ah,
And when you are allowing yourselves to find appreciation for all that is, and no longer fear and judge being down your spiral, and no longer fear and judge your obstacles, then you're operating on a whole different level that 99.9% of humanity has yet to discover. And you
mm,
realize that you truly are at the forefront of thought.
yes. That's so it's obvious that the folks that are here for the stream, are here for the Taya teachings, are here for just that stepping out of societal beliefs of fear and judgment. I know when I started my journey, it was a little rocky because I had to hunt around to find somebody who had like thinking as me. I had to experience, those that didn't. And I know with the holidays coming up, that can be a bit of a challenge as well. We have our old triggers in front of us, our old transgressors, perhaps. Yeah, how best would you guide someone to, like, a couple tools that could help them easily drop into?
As you begin doing this vibrational work that we guide you to, a few things occur. And one significant thing is that the landscape of your relationships begins to shift. So the other human beings that do not share your vibration begin to fade away.
Mm,
As you love yourselves more and appreciate all that is, you find yourselves in the presence of more and more human beings that have similar beliefs. And you even find human beings that have not the people are the same, but their reaction to you shifts. And we have guided David to guide those that are taking the boot camp journey to explain to them that the other people in your life are going to have two choices as you begin systematically raising your default vibration. They're either going to be inspired by you and follow you up there and be uh, curious about what you're doing and want to know more about it. Whether they become full blown Taya practitioners or not is completely up to them. And others are going to be annoyed by you and they're going to exit one way or another. And that does happen. But also, when you begin doing this vibrational work, you move yourself so far up your spiral that you're no longer needing to argue. You're no longer needing to be right. You're no longer needing anyone to necessarily understand you. You're no longer needing that external validation because you're learning to love yourselves as we love you. And when you start swimming in that space, you are not bothered by disagreeable people. If you are interacting with them at all, they are not triggering you the way they once did because you become so confident in your belief system and so at ease with who and what you are that you're no longer needing to argue for your worthiness.
excellent. I love that. I love that. Cheryl has a question. She says she I have thought I was well up my spiral, but have been hit with some whammies this week alone and am not sure now that I'm reading my vibration right. Her question was about identifying where you're at on the spiral. She doesn't necessarily mean a numeric value, but that is helpful. But knowing what's above and below neutral. Mm.
When you begin paying attention to where you are vibrationally, we guide you not to judge that journey because what you're going to find is that as you systematically move your vibration higher and higher and higher, your old high becomes your new low, essentially. So, learning the nuances of where you are vibrationally as expressed in how you feel, how in your emotions, learning that is something that takes time. And the more you judge it, the more you're going to lower your vibration in that process. So you are where you are. You're moving through vibrational flow. You are perhaps meditating and doing some appreciation exercises and working on some detuning in your life journey for the purpose of systematically raising your default vibration as we guide you to do. And then something unwanted crosses your paths and you beat yourselves up emotionally about it. Why am I experiencing this? I'm doing all of this work. I'm listening to the stream. I'm doing the things they're telling me to do. And yet here this obstacle arrives. That is something that in time you will teach yourselves not to do. In fact, this very interaction began with the discussion of Taya practitioners who are long out of boot camp, who are reaching the space where they are beginning to truly meet their obstacles in joy, understanding that you can do all of the things that we guide you to do to raise your vibration in a moment or in a day and still have something unwanted cross your path. You're not insulating yourselves from ever having an obstacle or a lower vibrational manifestation or an unwanted manifestation, rather, again. You're not insulating yourselves from that because that's not why you're here. You are here to dip down and manifest some things in your future path that are unwanted. Even if you raise your vibration, you're still going to have some of these unwanted things. Your reaction to today's evidence of yesterday's vibration, which is often what you're experiencing, your reaction to that has a lot to do with where you are vibrationally in the moment. So if you are moving through your day and you are believing that your vibration is high, you're feeling good, you're in that space of appreciation of most all that is, if not all that is, yes, your vibration is above neutral in that moment. But then an obstacle arrives, and if you allow that obstacle to send you plummeting down your spiral, well, that's a clear indicator that you have a trigger. We guide you to celebrate the discovery of a new trigger, understanding that you have now highlighted something that triggered you out of your higher vibrational state of being. And now there is something else that you can discover that exists in your vibrational basement that you may wish to detune. Because
Mm,
if it's a trigger for you, that means that there is a memory that has created a belief that is rooted in your subconscious mind that is ignited when you have that experience. Because if you're really up your spiral and you get the unwanted piece of mail or information or diagnosis or whatever it is, you're not reacting the same. You're not plummeting down your spiral over it because it's not triggering you. You can absolutely genuinely learn and teach yourselves because you've learned all of this behavior. You've learned all this judgment. You've learned all this fear. You've learned all this comparison. You've learned all of these expectations that guide you to slap that should not be label on things that creates all of your suffering. So if you've learned all of that, and you have, then you can unlearn it. You can learn something different. You can learn what we were discussing earlier, meeting your obstacles in joy, understanding that a trigger is a sign that you've got something to clear. And the clearing is as easy as finding authentic appreciation for it. Understanding that the source perspective of love and appreciation of all that is already exists within you. It's available to you. It's not something that you have to build and develop. It's something that's always there that you have allowed static to sort of cancel out, if you will. And all you're doing in your work that we guide you to is clearing out that static.
mm. Awesome. I love that. I love that it's always there. You've uttered two of my favorite phrases. Don't bring yesterday's vibration into today. And your old high is now your new low. Those are two that stuck with me. And Cheryl says, thank you. Definitely makes a difference. She's at a different level now most of the time than she ever thought she would be. She's actually not triggered like she would have been in the past. And she's more curious than triggered. My favorite word
Curious
also.
is good because curiosity leads you to clarity. And you just don't allow that curiosity to turn into frustration because you pick up the hammer of having to figure it out.
Mm,
Understand that all of the answers are there in your gentle appreciation of what the trigger is, and the are the thing that highlights a lower vibrational manifestation. That information, that clarity of how did I create this without the frustration of how did I create this.
So it's interesting as we're talking about this and we're talking about how you're DTS and then you bring appreciation into that moment and it almost magically transmutes and starts to shift. There's a synergy there. There's a it's miraculous. Uh-oh. Can you
And
describe
in those moments of curiosity, you are remembering that you're a vibrational being. You're remembering that you are an expression of source, and that automatically is going to raise your vibration. Just remembering those things, just
Mhm.
remembering that you are the creator of your reality, remembering that you are going to move through this experience. Your wonderful saying, "This too shall pass." Using that early on to remember that that DTS period is going to be a temporary experience, even though when you're in that lower vibrational state of being, you are that lower vibrational being in that moment. That's why you think and behave and feel very differently down there. But simply creating a memory marker for yourselves, if you will, of this too shall pass, or a memory marker of, oh, wait, I am simply down my spiral right now. That's all this is about. And I can appreciate this moment as well. You move right back up.
Mhm. Mhm. Time stamping that memory. And I know that for me, with my practice, sometimes I forget and I need to be reminded. That's when I reach out to my community. I reach out and listen to a podcast of the stream. I reach out and sit in meditation to allow whatever's coming up to bubble up even further so I can explore it. Um, would it be possible if the stream could give us a little dose of love, a little meditation that we can listen to perhaps right before we go into a possibly triggering situation this holiday? Do you have a little time for that for us today?
We would guide you to pre-pave a path of appreciation for what you are anticipating experiencing,
Mm,
because that will create a bit of armor for you vibrationally. Because
mm,
what happens is when you walk into situations, especially situations where you are interacting with people that you do not see very often, that perhaps you grew up with, that were part of your earlier life or your extended family life, that are not part of your everyday life, there is a minefield of triggers available in that interaction. So we will guide you in a more practical way first, because a meditation is a lovely thing to create. And swimming in our words, in your appreciation of your interacting with us, certainly raises your vibration and takes you
mhm,
beyond where a simple clearing of the mind meditation will take you.
mhm,
However, the practical tools are going to prove more valuable for you in these moments. So remembering to sit before you enter the room or the space and do a little breath work, appreciate yourselves first, because in your appreciation of yourselves, you are activating your version of what you call the stream. You are activating your version of source within you. We flow through all of you. Always. We do not forsake you. We do not leave you. We're always there. So remember that. Remember that you are first and foremost a source being. And as a source being, you do not have to judge yourselves the way your society guides you to judge yourselves.
mm.
So, in your breathing, in your appreciation of exactly who you are, how you are, where you are, and just authentically loving yourselves for exactly the experience that you have created without any need for any change of anything. We are not needing any of you, not one of you, to change anything about your life as it is right now to love you any more than we already do. That is
Thank
the
you.
highest form of appreciation available universally, is loving exactly what is. Yes, you are expansive beings, so you want more. Love the fact that you want more. But remember that the space that you're in, however you are, your love for you does not have to be conditional about how anyone else feels about you. That's their business, it is not yours. So armor yourselves with a bit of detuning, a bit of self love, a bit of intention, if you will, that you're going to have a fantastic interaction, that you're going to be appreciative of everyone that you interact with, that you're going to have a fun, relaxing, joyful time, and that anyone else's belief about anything, anyone else's opinion about anything, has absolutely zero impact on you unless you draw it in and allow it. That's their experience. They are living their experience. They are manifesting their reality, and that reality may be one of fear. It may be one of judgment. It may be one of judgment of you. It may be one of being hypercritical about so many things that you believe drag you down that perhaps you label things like toxic. But understand that those people that are labeled toxic or negative or disagreeable, they're simply having their manifested journey. Their soul is loving that journey as much as your soul is loving your journey. So the very best guidance that we can offer you for that scenario is to do that work before you move in. And then when you go in, remember as you move through that everyone there is on their path, on their journey, and that there is no need for you to judge any of it, even their judgment of you.
Mhm.
So that's what we would guide you to do in those moments and days and weeks before you go into these interactions. And understand that you have this time of celebration that is upon you, and that you can allow that to be anything and everything that you want it to be. But where we guide you to watch out is getting into that comparison of what you believe it's supposed to be, because again, your media is programming you to believe that it's supposed to look a certain way.
Mhm.
But you all understand, and we are well aware that anyone listening to these words well understands that that is all commercialization. That is all a human created construct of what happiness and expansion are supposed to be, that is very much rooted in commerce and things of that nature. That does not guarantee happiness. The only thing that guarantees happiness is you loving you the way source loves you, and activating your source being and allowing your source being to be the dominant energetic player in your energy field, and allow your ego to be something that you greatly appreciate, that takes the back seat to the source being.
I love that. Thank you. I love that, the stream and the universal love will never be forsaken to us, and that, allowing our source to be the driver. That's awesome. That's something I can easily remember, as I go through my own holiday experience. And the judgment. Yeah, uh, you said it very eloquently in that is their experience. That is their journey. That is their they are as happy in their journey as you are in yours. That's spectacular,
And is expansive. They're expanding in that journey as you are expanding in your journey.
right?
And part of flowing into a more source-like human experience is authentically and truly understanding what appreciation of all that is really means.
Mhm.
And it's appreciation and understanding of all that is, including those that think that your practice and your belief system is insane, completely wrong, evil even. You are well aware that there are beings out there, there are human beings that would hear our words of appreciation of all that is, and then dance out several scenarios that you're not supposed to appreciate, and then slap that label of demonic or evil or really wrong or must be stopped even.
Mhm.
That exists, but they're having their experience. That's their belief system. That's how they're receiving their expansion as a physically manifested being. And you are receiving yours in a different way. No right, no wrong, no comparison, no judgment. You do not exit this physical human experience and return to a space and realize that you somehow scored higher on the board than someone else who doesn't believe the way that you do. You theoretically, you all sit around and all appreciate equally the experience that was had, regardless of how humanity judges it. You do, because you're here for expansion, and you expand no matter what. You can expand in suffering, you can expand through suffering, you could expand and certainly expand in moving through a suffering experience and creating a very different reaction from the suffering that you once experienced, meaning that you're no longer judging what you once suffered in the same way, and thus you have completely released the suffering, and you have found that magical space of source connectivity in your human journey.
It is indeed magical. I love it. I find that it's super easy for me to appreciate the journey of someone who's going through like a dire extreme experience versus someone who is mildly judgmental or bitchy, that I've watched myself come up against that often. It's so easy for me to though, that extreme example of somebody having illness. I can see their choices, but I'm going to work on that other one a little. I think that does definitely comes from wanting to control the surroundings of my experience and letting that just actually be and appreciating that. I thank you very much. I needed that.
Pay attention to joyfulness first.
Yeah.
Are you witnessing a being that is moving through a human journey in a joyful way?
Okay.
Humanity at this time does not place as much emphasis or priority on joyfulness as you do other things. The commerce section of your human journey at the time that you're manifested, that takes precedent over almost everything in your world.
Mhm.
But think about the end result of the money and the material things. The concept is that it's going to deliver some type of joy.
Right.
But you've all experienced joy without it. You've all experienced a lack of joy in it. And you've all witnessed those who have it and are still not authentically, consistently joyful.
Yeah.
And that's not to say there's anything wrong with any of it, because this is our promise to you. If you have the capacity to look upon something in appreciation, you have the capacity to fully experience it. Anything, without judgment from us. Anything that you look upon in appreciation is an expression of that which we are. Whether it is what you would call a natural creation or a human-made creation, it does not matter. The things that you appreciate are all expressions of that which you call source. And if you can look at it and you can appreciate it, you can have it, you can be it, you can do it without judgment. And there's no level of too much.
Yes.
There is no level of too much. There is no thing that is too far out there that you are not allowed to have or be or do because source says you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
There is no such thing.
So we've been playing as a community with the end of the year is almost upon us. We've been looking at our visualization, right, rewriting our codes for our futures. And some of us with advanced practices of multiple years are noticing that our intentions almost are as powerful as writing the code and visualizing. Do you have a distinction that you could share with us on that?
The
Or
reason that you write a code or visualize or create a board or any of these things is to activate the vibration of.
Hmm,
And the thing about a board is that it creates a reminder for you to sort of swim in that vibration. At its best, that's what it's doing for you. But you
right?
all understand that you can create a board, offer up appreciation for the things that you've placed on your board, and set it aside and never look at it again and still manifest everything on it.
Right.
And sometimes that's more effective for you than having something that you look at every day and want and need. Because if you're looking at it every day and you're trying to make it happen because you're wanting and needing it, and it's not placing you in the vibration of is,
Hmm.
then you're actually being counterproductive. You're chasing it away.
Good point. Good point. So noticing my practice daily, the intention setting feels very much like visualization, mini code writing for just that day. I set intention, let it go, experience my day, release that energy, go to bed, wake up fresh and new, and I do it all over again. And it does
Indeed,
feel
and if you are using a vision board or some sort of a reminder system to keep you on track, if you are experiencing it in appreciation and isness, then allow it to be.
mhm,
But if you start looking after a while and wondering where it is and why it isn't showing up and what you're doing wrong and all of that stuff, then you're being counterproductive to your desires.
right.
Understand that the universe does not deliver on a timeline, a physical timeline. The universe aligns things for you and creates things on your behalf instantaneously.
Mhm,
Instantaneously. The moment you dream something up, it already exists because it exists vibrationally first always. But you're in this physical environment where you have this need for things to be completely fleshed out and physical, and things will be completely fleshed out and physical as soon as you relax into the isness of it.
mhm.
But you are in this vibrational flow, and you are all mercurial beings that are moving up and down, and the belief, disbelief, impatience, changing of the mind. Do I want this? Do I want that? Do I even really want that anymore? I wanted that yesterday. Do I want that today? Why do I want something else? There's another shiny thing. All of that thinking that bounces all over the place is why you don't receive everything instantaneously. But that's by design. That's not a flaw in
Mm.
humanity. That is by design. That is the universal process of creation, so that you don't instantaneously manifest every single thing that you think you want. Take a moment to think about what your lives would be like if you just instantly manifested every single thing that you think you want. Think of what would be running around in front of your home. Think of what would be piling up inside it. Think about what the world would look like with all of those mansions and yachts and exotic animals and all of these things. Every little whim does not manifest for a reason. Think about it like this: the universe is always asking, "Do you really want it? Are you sure?" Think about it in terms of that. Are you really ready for it? A lot of
Ah,
times your soul is doing work on your behalf that your ego is so completely unaware of. But remember that your soul is always there calling your ego forward into joy, into abundance, into well being. Your soul is doing nothing but manifesting, because your soul is an expression of source, abundance, and well being. That is your natural state. Your ego exists to separate you from that sometimes. Your ego exists to regulate all of that manifestation of every single thing you ever thought you wanted. Your ego exists to manifest some obstacles so that you have a platform from which to create something that has never been created before. And that is your expansion. We have shared quite a bit of
yes,
information,
yes,
and
you
we would very much guide you to listen back to these words and understand that the things that we are offering are, in and of themselves, your own version of meditation. The quieting of your mind, the breath work, the beautiful music, the beautiful sounds, all of these things transform you. But
Mhm,
there is magic in the words that are being offered always in these interactions, because you are summoning this through David. You are summoning your own source consciousness through David in these interactions. So this is why we guide you always to listen back to these episodes a few times, because there are so many layers available for you and to you. And
mhm.
yes, you may believe that we say the same things over and over and over again, because we do. Because universal law is actually very simple. But you all understand, if you've been listening to us for a little while, that you need to hear it a few different ways, many different times, for it to really begin to sink in and
Indeed.
really have an impact on you. That you are in the driver's seat, and you can allow the source version of you to be in the driver's seat of your life journey, of your expansion, or you can allow the ego. And most of you flip back and forth much of the time. But if you start thinking of it as a work in tandem, but if you allow more of your source being to be in the driver's seat and more of your ego to be in the passenger seat, that is as balanced and as harmonious as you are going to experience in physical. Because that 50-50 balance is something that you're not going to achieve consistently, nor do we even guide you to that.
Mm.
Letting the ego jump into the driver's seat every once in a while has great value. Put a few miles on that vehicle, bang it up a little bit. Allow all of the scratches and the dents and the miles and the worn tires and all of those things to create inspiration for something new. And then let your source being get back into the driver's seat and see what happens. Watch creation, watch manifestation, watch well-being rain down upon you, because it will, because that is the natural order of things. Positive is always more powerful than negative. Well-being and abundance are guaranteed to all of you, always. You are the ones that are holding yourselves away from it, but that is part of your journey. Be at peace with all of that, and realize that being at peace with all of that actually raises your vibration and allows more of the natural well-being that we speak of to flow right in. With much love, that is what we have.
Wow. Excellent. That was awesome. I love the do you really want it? Are you ready for it questions? And I kept visualizing the ponies, right? Everybody wants a pony when they're little. When the stream said, "Oh, imagine all the things and the exotic animals in your front yard," I thought, "Oh God, there'd be ponies everywhere."
There would. I kind of remember what you're talking about. The
Yes.
the over manifestation of desires that can actually be a problem.
Yes.
It can.
And thanks. I really appreciate to pay attention to joyfulness first. That's going to be my next week's focus, because I know even in those people that are judgmental or a little bitchy or having a bad day, there is joy within that individual in whatever way they're experiencing their life.
Yeah,
It does exist.
there's a different version of them, but it's not so down the spiral.
Yeah.
Somewhere, somehow, there is.
Somewhere.
Well, and the thing is that I know you're talking about interactions for the holidays, hot topics,
Mhm.
since Thanksgiving is next week here in the United States.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming up, and all the other holidays are in season. Um, remembering to zero in on what you appreciate about something or someone. It just starts the ball rolling in a positive direction. And
It
when you find yourself dipping into judgment, oh wait, what do I appreciate about this person or this situation?
Yes, yes.
Let me
Yeah,
find do the 3 to 5 game. Let me find 3 to 5 things to appreciate in this moment, and
we
let
were
me
talking
focus on
about
that.
the power of the word too, to actually speak it out loud. So some Aunt Nellie's in front of you and she's getting judgmental, but you've always really loved that necklace that she's worn for years and years and years. You know, gosh, Nellie, I sure do love that necklace you have. It's such a beautiful piece. You must treasure it. Just putting something like that disarms people almost instantaneously. I've noticed as well. And it brings your vibe up, right?
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
Yes. Oh,
All
thank you.
right. Well, we're gonna call it a Claim Your Power 50 minutes tonight. I think I'm a little exhausted from the channeling, but thank you all so much for participating and watching live and all your questions. And Stacy, as always, thank you so much for hosting. I do appreciate you very
Oh,
much.
thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure.
And for those of you in the US, happy Thanksgiving next week. We will be off. I'm going to do Sunday Soul, I think, both Sundays, I think. But next week, we're not going to do the lives during the week, but I do think we have a recorded, one recorded thing that we're going to pop up for everybody. But we're not going to be on live on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday next week, but we will be on Sunday. So join us Sunday morning for Sunday Soul Food. Before and after Thanksgiving, I think we're going to do both of those Sundays.
Oh, good.
Stream will be around. Bye, everybody.